target, the reactor core. Gotta set the bomb at the bottom. Heads up, boys. The end's in sight. I leave the rest in your capable hands. Good luck.
Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Rob. Joining us is Dave.
Hello, no need to sound surprised, Rob.
I am surprised, Dave. Well, not really, because I asked you to be on this video.
I'm the one who's surprised.
I just wanted to show you Final Fantasy VII Remake, because this, just to explain to everyone at home, this is the demo that I played at E3, Rosie played it at Gamescom, and now, for the first time, you at home get to see a full playthrough of the entire demo, not just the little snapshots that you've seen of the boss fight at the end, the whole playable demo from start to finish. And Dave, I just wanted to show you Final Fantasy VII Remake because you've not seen much of it, and I'm excited, and I want you to be excited as well.
Yeah, well, first of all, what an honour it is to be on this video with you, Rob. Thank you very much for asking me, because I'm genuinely mean that, because I know I never played Final Fantasy VII. I know what a huge cultural phenomenon it is, what a massive thing for you it is.
Yes.
And believe me, it's not lost on me just how far we have come, in those years. Like,
yes.
This looks night and day.
This looks amazing.
And also the same.
But watch this, Dave. Look, I'm doing fire magic on a guard far away while also slashing this guard up close. So,
it's impressive stuff.
I mean, you're not going to know, Dave, that's how exciting that is for me. Because we've been talking about it lots in our previous videos on Final Fantasy VII Remake, how the combat is really exciting in terms of how it is real. It's got a lot of real-time elements now. But also, you just saw then how it's still full of tactical depth. I mean, that was a very simple interaction. I was just attacking a guard in front of me while sort of slow-moing it and selecting fire magic to do on another enemy further away. But that kind of cinematic brilliance is what you get from the combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And for people who, and I was one of these people who are maybe a bit skeptical about the whole real-time thing to begin with, it does feel incredibly tactical as well, which is brilliant.
Well, can you talk me through it? How does it work? Because if it's this mixture, how do you trigger that? How do you go between the two?
You can see in the bottom right corner we've got Cloud and Barrett who are fighting right now. You can see that in the bottom corner, right? Underneath their health bar, which is the little, you've got the HP, and then there's the yellow line, which indicates how much health they've got. Underneath that, you can see blue bars that are filling up.
Yes.
That's the ATB gauge, which stands for Active Time Battle. Now, that blue gauge fills very slowly as you fight. When you do basic attacks, you can just press square to do a basic attack with either character. It fills up a bit faster. And when a whole chunk of it is full up, you can select from your command menu. You can see you can press X on the bottom left to bring up your command menu.
Yeah.
You can do either an ability or a spell or throw an item, something a bit more exciting than just a regular attack, basically.
So basically, whilst you're just fighting in real time,
yes,
you're filling your ATB gauge,
yes,
at which point you can then enter, once a chunk of it or both chunks of it are full, you can enter your command menu, which then slows down the action, gives you the time to think, like, what ability do I want to use or whatever.
Exactly. And we'll see a little demo of that here. Here I'm going and I'm using my triple slash ability, which is quite effective at taking out large groups of smaller enemies like I've done there. And also at any point, using the directional buttons up and down, you can switch which character you control in battle. So now I've switched to Barrett. Barrett has like a long-ranged gun arm as his default weapon, which means he's able to attack ranged enemies a lot more effectively than Cloud is. So depending on what you're fighting, it's a good idea to switch up who you're controlling in battle.
And do you have to, can you target anyone with you from the, any enemy?
Yes.
From the command menu? It doesn't have to be the enemy you were specifically fighting?
No, I mean, well, depending on, some abilities there may be some enemies that are further away that can't be reached by certain abilities, for instance, but you can, as soon as you go into that command menu and you want to cast a fire spell, for example, you can select any enemy on the battlefield to cast that fire spell on, which is very cool. So, okay, we're coming down the ladder now. This is a Mako reactor, Dave, officially pronounced Marco.
Right,
but
okay.
I've always pronounced it Mako. Officially, it is Marco, though, and you can see the green liquid in this big reactor core that we're inside, and that is Marco energy.
Okay.
in which this evil corporation Shinra are exploiting. Basically, they're a big greedy company sucking up the planet's life force and turning it into profitable energy.
Oh, so far-fetched.
Yes, exactly. So this is the reactor core. Our mission is to blow up the reactor core. Barrett, there's Barrett. He's like the leader of this resistance group called Avalanche, who Shinra, the evil corporation of... They basically have called you terrorists, basically, and they want everyone to be against you. And your goal here is to try and disrupt their plans.
Right.
By blowing up this Marco reactor. And there's the bomb.
I could see how that would work, yeah.
And Cloud here, the main character, he's a mercenary who has been hired by Avalanche. He used to work for Shinra. He used to be part of their military arm called Soldier. But now he's gone freelance, basically. He's a sword for hire.
What's happening here?
This is a little... I don't want to go into any story stuff for you, Dave.
Well, don't
it's
then.
Just a little, it's a bit of the story. It's exciting.
I can't really imagine, Rob, what it's like seeing this being played out for you here, rather than...
rather than having to imagine it, yeah.
Having to imagine it.
little tiny blocky sprites back in the day.
And is it very much how you did imagine it? It's
hard to tell, but yes. When you get the original Final Fantasy VII, obviously you'd have images in your mind, and you would create the drama, the cinema of it in your mind. And seeing it now in Final Fantasy VII Remake, it looks very much like what you had in your head 22 years ago now. Which is quite amazing.
What's that thin orange bar that's filling up underneath the Scorpion Sentinels?
I'm glad you asked, Dave. That is the Scorpion Sentinel's stagger bar.
Right.
So once that is full, obviously the enemy is staggered, it drops to the floor, and all damage does 160%.
Oh, wow.
You have specific attacks as well that are more effective at filling up the stagger bar. For instance, Scorpion Sentinel is weak against lightning magic. Barrett has a lightning spell. So doing that will increase the rate at which you stagger an enemy. And also Cloud has an ability called Focused Thrust, which doesn't do as much damage as his other abilities, but is very effective at filling up the stagger bar. And so when you're fighting a boss like this, it becomes quite a tactical game of trying to fill its stagger bar up, making sure that you have abilities ready that once it is staggered, you can really unload on it. And we will see that in a minute. You can see also... let me draw your attention to next to Cloud and Barrett's names. To the right, you'll see another little bar. It's a yellow one, and that's gradually filling up. That's the limit gauge. Once that is full, you can use a limit break attack, and it's a good idea to try and coincide bosses being staggered with your limit gauge being full.
How do you fill your limit gauge?
You fill your limit gauge by taking damage and also filling the enemy's stagger bar.
Right.
So both of those things will fill your limit gauge.
So there are instances where you might choose to take damage from the enemy so that you can fill your limit break for the right time.
Exactly. And you don't have to use your limit ability straight away once it's full. Okay. So you can sort of save it and store it for the optimum moment, which you will see me doing here. Look, the Scorpion Sentinel is on the wall at the moment, so Cloud can't really get at it, so we've switched to Barrett.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
It's just so exciting.
It's
so exciting.
I must admit, I've heard this described to me several times, the combat, but this is the first time seeing it and having it properly explained to me. I really get it, and I really want to have a go. I'd really like to play it now.
I mean, I know Elle really enjoyed it, having not really played much Final Fantasy before. So it does feel like the kind of thing that fans of the original, like me, will just lap up because it's Final Fantasy VII and it looks amazing, this remake. But for people like you, Dave, it is pretty easy to pick up. But it has like a satisfying tactical depth as well. You're not just swinging your sword around.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I quite like turn-based action as well as real time, and this seems like totally manageable. Like, it's occasionally you have the opportunity to breathe and think.
Yes.
And I like that layer on top of just getting in and doing some action.
Indeed.
Is Barrett having to dodge there? Is that you've got a dodge ability?
You don't have to dodge, but you can dodge by pressing circle. You notice I've used an item. I was going to use an item there.
What are you using?
That was that was cure magic. Sorry, not an item. But you can also use items like potions and ethers, but that will take one chunk of your ATB gauge as well.
Right. So using an item takes a chunk of ATB
yes,
gauge.
It does.
Okay, so that's something to bear in mind.
Okay, so we've got him staggered here. Barrett's limit gauge is nearly full.
Come on, Barrett.
I don't think I can quite get my limit gauge up in time though. So I'm going to have to try and stagger him again. Also, you'll see Barrett's MP is 0 above his limit gauge there, which means he can no longer use thunder magic until I use an ether on him. Or an ether. There's debate about how that's pronounced.
So is that linked to the ATB gauge? Like, is that... Can you use your magic once you have a...
Yes, magic takes ATB as well. So anything that's not just a basic attack, so using potions, using magic, using abilities, requires a chunk of ATB. Some abilities that are more powerful take 2 full ATB chunks.
Right.
Using a limit ability, however, doesn't require any ATB at all. So once your limit gauge is full, you can use your limit break attack at any point.
Right. And like taking cover here, it looked like Barrett was taking cover there.
Yeah.
Or you were with Barrett.
Yes.
Is that something that was in the original game?
No. No, the original game was a purely turn-based battle system.
That's what I thought. You just stood in front of each other and took it in turns to have a go.
Your turn. Hit me, Scorpion Sentinel. Now I will hit you.
Well, I just like that because, it's like a little extra layer on boss battles.
Yes.
In particular, I suppose, where something to think about. Oh, I like how shiny the limit... It's like, come on, press me.
You can see limit is up now for Barrett, but I want to stagger it first.
Yeah.
So with Cloud here, I'm going to use my focused thrust ability, which is that ability. It doesn't do loads of damage, but you can see it's good at filling up the stagger meter. I reckon one more is going to do it. So here we go.
I want to see
It's now
this.
staggered, and now it's time for Barrett to unleash his limit break, which is called Fire in the Hole.
Nice.
Have some of that. Oh, just the orangeness of that.
Yeah.
So satisfying.
Get away. Oh, it hates that. It's charred.
It's
and
gone
horrible.
mad now, though.
Yeah, it has
Just
rather.
firing rockets all over the place.
Is this like a bit of company hardware that's supposed to be protecting the reactor?
Yes.
Yeah. Go careful.
It's got its legs out now.
Wait, overkill. Is that a kind of a phase it's entered?
I believe so.
Oh,
Basically,
no.
it means I'm mad now.
Yeah, it does look quite mad.
But it's got its legs out now. I've got to contend with its legs.
So what does that mean? You can't get too close to it? Has it got kind of a melee
I've
ability?
got other things to hit, basically. Right. Barrett's thunder attack is done for the left leg. Cloud's going to finish off the right leg. Cloud's limit break is nearly full.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and finish it by coinciding Cloud's limit break with it being staggered, which I have successfully done.
Come on.
Here we go. Cross slash to win.
He's so cross.
And there we
Slash.
go.
Nice.
There we go.
Was it a cross or was it an X?
It's a cross. Cross slash. But there we go. There's the Scorpion Sentinel defeated. And there is, for the first time, for people outside of who haven't had a chance to play the demo, there is the full demo that we got to play at E3 and Gamescom. I am massively excited about it. I don't know if you can tell. I'm glad. What do you think of it, Dave?
I genuinely this has really made a difference to me. My excitement levels. That looked like a lot of fun. The combat looks deep. I can understand it, and you wouldn't tell me what the story was, and now I want to know why there was a feather.
I have to play it when it comes out in March, Dave. It's going to be amazing. Well, let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation.
For the players.